What's up? Welcome back to Live from Redhook here at the Function House. Tonight we have a very special guest DJ, Mr. MOrtiz.
How are you?
Filling in for Mr. Vitale is DJ Chachi. Vitale is vacationing in Ischia, Italy, promoting the Function House internationally.
Vacationing.
So, spreading the word. But we'd like to welcome you to the show.
Thank you for having me aboard. Excited to be here.
We're happy to have you here at Redhook.
Again, excited to be here. I love it. It's awesome.
Second run.
Okay.
But you were here last week, obviously, with Rick.
Yep, absolutely.
Checked out the space.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, showed my support.
Yep.
You know? And no, what you have here is amazing. And what I do love about it is that you're really reaching out to DJs locally, and the guys on the scene doing it every day. Chachi, Rick, Mel, Nacho, I mean, all of us that are out there every single day doing that, and to hear their insights and what they're, picking their brain without actually being there, amazing. I love everything about this.
Yeah, I mean, we think it's important for DJs to come on the show to talk about what they're doing, how they got here, and it's also, it's a good platform. We want the up-and-comers to be promoting themselves and to showcase what they do as a DJ.
No, absolutely. I mean, there is a daily grind that no one sees. They see the glamour life behind it, but yet, we're waking up at 10 o'clock in the morning, doing edits, reaching out, dealing with personalities and egos, and coming over from the hangover or whatever the case may be, but there's a lot that goes behind it.
Well, it's
that's a pretty good synopsis. Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's like, there's a good meme on Facebook that sort of depicts like the life of a DJ.
Yeah, it's
what
hilarious.
People think it is and what it is in somebody's head and then what it actually is.
I've seen one meme. It's like what my mom thinks, what people think I do, and then what it actually is like. You're behind the studio the whole time, just passing out.
Well, I mean, it's amazing how the art of DJing has changed in the sense that now it's a respected profession. Right?
Literally,
I think
absolutely.
In the earlier days, it was always viewed as like a side job
or a hobby.
Or a hobby.
Right.
Whereas today, it's serious.
Nah,
it's real.
I mean, you're making $200,000 in 1 hour like Calvin Harris, like.
Yeah, I think the money has made it like respectable. I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
People can actually have a career.
I mean, like plenty of people say they're the modern day rock stars. You go to the festivals now and like literally they're Woodstock. They're modern day Woodstocks, and like I've been there and you're just like, holy crap! Like just from music, this is insane.
It's crazy, and it's crazy how people, like the fans of DJs, how they go crazy, and how a DJ is so well respected as an individual.
Yes,
you know what
absolutely.
I'm saying? In terms of like the power that you garnish, like when you're, controlling a room or something. Right?
No, absolutely. I mean, what's amazing to me is just like the versatility of DJs now. Like you're like this big EDM guy, or you're some crazy scratch guy, and then with the introduction of Red Bull 3 style, you're all three of those into one, but still able to rock a crowd. And like, it's just amazing how far technology has allowed us to go. And I love everything about it, and I'm immersed in this world now, and just totally amazed by it at the end of the day, just because like you can literally live off of this and then grow it into a full-blown career and be recognized by so many other people that you don't even know. And like Instagram too, it's like you're walking around, it's like, hey, you're MOrtiz, and you're like, yeah, I am. Nice to meet you.
I think so.
Okay. It's probably surreal, like if you're riding the train and like people like staring at you and they're like,
like you just read about that on the tabloids and stuff, and now like it's kind of happening now, and you're just like, you like my stuff. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Like I made it for you,
So tell us, obviously you see the show, so you see how we do it.
Absolutely.
Tell us, where you're from, how you got into this.
Well, I was born here, and then from there, my dad, he was only 18, and he got accepted to the Army. So we had to move over to Germany. He was in a Desert Storm.
Yep.
And from there, after it was over, we moved to Florida. But he couldn't pass the swimming portion of the police exam, so because he was a smoker. So moved to Georgia, no water, so no swimming.
Okay.
Yeah, so Madison, it was great, but they didn't have what he wanted. So then we moved over to Valdosta, and that's where I pretty much was grown up and raised. And my mannerisms, my cordial, just, everybody's nice, everything's really
Southern
slow.
hospitality.
Absolutely,
sure.
yeah, and what's so funny is just like I was totally in the cars. So like, music and everything else was like, it was cool. Like you listen to, Bubba Sparks or something like that, but it was never on the radar. So when we moved up here when I was 17, and I got accepted to Polytech, and I went for mechanical engineering. You know, I had indulged in piano and like kind of self-taught myself, like watched when YouTube was big out there. Like YouTube taught me everything. YouTube was like my second dad.
You can
it was
learn
awesome.
anything.
Yeah,
on
literally.
YouTube these days.
As long as you put the due diligence, yeah, it's amazing.
It's crazy.
Absolutely. Like there's some weird geek out there just putting out this video, and I love that guy. Like
And that's how we went on YouTube and like how to do a live DJ stream show.
Yeah,
That's how
there
we
you
did
go.
I mean, I learned how to saute vegetables. So it could be anything.
I think I saw that video.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. So, you know, I would do that on my spare time, but, you know, Polytech was super intense. You know, I had a full ride scholarship, so I had to maintain a 3.9 GPA and everything, so it was pretty hard. But when I graduated, I went to work for BMW for an internship and did that for 8 months and ended up just hating everything about mechanical. I just hated it. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is what they actually do. Like, what liars. So when I came,
you were dreading getting up
so when I
every
came
day.
back, NYU had purchased Polytech, and then from there, I saw the Clive Davis program. I got accepted to that, and you know, really learned about music.
So
you know.
what year was this?
This is 06, 08.
Okay.
And, you know, really learned about music and literally just got immersed into it. So really just looking up all the guys that I was into, and, you know, back then in Georgia too, I was into like System of a Down and Disturbed and Slipknot, and like, wow, like there's a whole production behind that, how they make their music.
Yeah.
And then I got involved in engineering. So from there, I went to SAE as well, just to get the engineering background behind it, and I didn't finish though. I just ended up quitting just because I felt like I did 2 years there, did 6 months here. All right, I have everything I need to know. Let me go get a job.
Yeah, sure.
Literally busted my ass to work at Avatar Studios. Got an internship with Carl Glenville, who's pretty much like U2's main engineer, and I mean, awesome. Guy's incredible. I mean, the engineering experience he gave me and what I learned and how I picked it up, and everything about that man is just sound and
how
music.
How did you line that up? That's amazing.
I mean, it was just like the luck of the draw. Like I was, you know, assigned to him, and you know, my due diligence, my tenacity, you know, eager to learn. He loved that. So anytime he would come in, I would make sure his coffee was to the left. He had his notepad right there in the center. All of his settings were set the way he wanted it. Like I was his template in real life.
That's how engineers love
Yeah.
it. They love that detail oriented
absolutely.
stuff.
So, you know, I was super cordial with any artist that came in. I was very welcoming, and like if they need, like one artist only wanted red Sour Patch Kids. I had to go through like 20 bags before the real one came out and pick them out before they got there. But I was happy to do it.
That's
they were just
some
like,
serious shit.
It was
man.
my session. I can get whatever I want. Okay?
so
Paying the red
Chachi.
Chachi.
Yeah, I'm paying for it.
Come on.
So I mean, so during that time too, I had been to Sutra, and Sutra was when the Tony Toka parties was going on, and I saw Tony Touch, and I saw Craze and Kid Capri at the same day, and oh my God.
It's like a history lesson.
Oh my God. It literally blew my mind. I was like, wait, people can do that with their hands? Like, well, I didn't understand what was going on, first of all. And then I see the turntable, and I'm just like, no way. There's no way he's moving that fast. And then you look at Craze doing both sides and just destroying these records. And I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. That's really cool. So I figured out, did my due diligence, and I found Scratch Academy was where you learn to scratch. And I was like, you know what? Sure, let me try this out. And got involved, did a 101, figured out what mixing was, and luckily with the engineering, I did music theory, so I knew how to count my music, so that was pretty easy. And then I met Excess and Spectacular. And Excess is like a world-renowned DJ for the DMC world. Spectacular's won the USA Championship like 3 times.
So what year was this now? We're up to...
We're up to 09 and 10.
Okay.
So from there, I literally treated it just like a college course. I pretended I had a syllabus. I did my 2-3 hours every single day. I made sure to practice my routines, and it just turned into something awesome. And eventually, the weird ziggas were making sense, and actually working out well.
Because it's all about training the brain.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
so,
you have to suck for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then one day it just clicks.
Yeah,
Right.
my mom was just like, can you please
Hated
put your
it,
headphones
yeah.
on? Like, can you stop? Like, Mom, one day it's going to pay off. She's like, go, use your college degree, damn it, and get out of here. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And then, so I was in Queens, so we moved back up here. And I I got my introduction through the Queen scene. So all the Spanish clubs like ML, La Boom, Tropics, and Astoria. Forest Hills.
Yeah.
Where else? Pretty much all of Astoria, all of those Spanish spots. And like I met Spin One, I met Fat Fingers, I met Finesse, I met Mode, I met Yanni. And then they literally changed how I looked at scratching, like where they were using it as a tool to go into their next song, or using it as a breakaway, or using it to show off like, hey, I'm not just mixing, but I can musically make this sound amazing.
So it wasn't just turntables.
Absolutely. It was just like Yanni impressed the crap out of me. I mean, like how if he could do the 16 chirp cuts and it was just so smooth and perfect. And I'm just looking at him like, we're the same age. Like, how are you doing that?
but it inspires you, right?
Absolutely.
So it's like you're seeing these guys go crazy on the turntables, and then you're like, I got to be like that.
Absolutely. And then, what was amazing about being with so many different styles of cutters was that, like, I would see Spin One, and Spin One is so methodical, where literally every cut is on count and on beat, and literally he can switch it or hear the sound like a Mozart and just do it. And just seeing that, I would just, I stuck around him for a while, and he taught me a lot, and he broke down how patterns would go, and then, he broke it down to where it's an alphabet. Here's your A, here's your B, here's your C, and the more things you can do, the better you can speak. And like that just taught me how to do everything else. So me being a technical guy at the same time, I would just break it down. Like, all right, so he's going left to right, they're moving together. He's doing it on the 1, he breaks it on the 4, and then eventually I started doing it myself, and it was just like, holy crap, like just mind blowing on that end. So your mixes become better, your blendings become better. I mean, you can just stop the record and just chop it up for 8 bars, and people are just like, whoa, who are
girls
you?
you date are
Pretty much so. So
It
life
just elevates the
it's just
whole
your whole game.
Life
goes
was
up.
amazing in Queens, but then I kind of saw it just get very stagnant, where it's like, the big guys get their gigs, and then you have to either open or close for them all the time. So I'm like, all right, well, where's the market where this is appreciated? And I kind of missed the tail end of the DJ era, where everybody was making lots of money, and like the Jesse Marco days at One Oak Wednesdays. And I tried to go everywhere just by myself. Like I would go to 10 June, I went to Anja, I went to CLO, and just getting rejected all the time. And then finally, I got my first gig at Sea Lounge, which was on Little West 12th and Washington Street, which is not there anymore. Had a big pool in the basement.
Like a swimming pool?
Like a big swimming pool. Yeah, you weren't supposed to swim in it, but it was like decorated.
Don't go in there.
I had no idea why I was even down there.
Go in the water.
And
very, very clean.
it's so amazing how many people just fell in there. And like what's even more amazing, how amazing I thought I was. And then I don't know if you ever heard of Nick Russo, but Nick Russo used to DJ on the top floor. So I'm like, I'm good enough to DJ up there. Why don't I get to go up there? And one day I heard him, and I'm just like, oh wow, he's good. Like, damn, I need to practice a lot more. I need to stop scratching and just mix. So I saw his style and his versatility, and like I just loved it. And I befriended him, and we became really cool and close. And he actually lived out in Brooklyn, and I was in Queens, so I would go all the way to his house just to practice with him and figure out like his style and how he would really read the crowd, because I wasn't there yet. It was just more like, I'm playing the things I like. Here's my cool, complicated scratches. You should enjoy it. Rather than it's like, let me integrate all of this, read the crowd, and play what they're doing. And then if I do a couple cool things, people will notice it and they'll enjoy it.
Right.
Sure. So from there, he used to open up at One Oak. And one day he's like, hey man, I can't make it. Do you mind filling in for me? And I'm like, oh man, here we go. So I'm like, I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. Like I was so nervous. I even dressed up in a button down with a tie.
The needle on the record. You're like this.
Yeah. I dressed all up and everything, and I get there and everybody's like in these cool clothes, and I feel like an idiot automatically. So I'm like, great. They're never gonna hire me back. Awesome. So I get there, I keep it super simple. I say hello to everybody, and they don't call me back. So Nick, again, same thing. He's like, hey man, just, let's do it together. You're my friend, I love you, let's let's go back and forth for the opening
Do
sets.
you have a picture of you from that first night that we showed?
I think I do. It's like a
tuxedo.
Pale as a ghost.
I think I was wearing a purple shirt at that time too, with a black skinny tie, and I was like, wasn't
No
even
wonder why.
smiling. I know.
That was it.
Like
Could have played the
DJ
best set
fashion,
ever.
like
Yeah.
101.
Oh man, that was hilarious. I look back at that now, I'm like, oh my god, how times have changed. So after that, the venue started recognizing us as we were the openers for Wednesday, and it switched from Jesse Marco to Ross One. And Ross One was awesome. I mean, he really, like, his style, the way he broke down records, his simple, just cool, clean cuts. And
Still is, though. Shout out to Ross.
Shout out to Ross One, man. And I mean, he's amazing. Like, so I learned so much just by watching him. So one day, Nick wasn't there and I was opening, and then Ross One, it was when Magna Carta came out. He was doing the Jay-Z party at Up and Down. And he didn't get out of there till 4 a.m, so that means I was at Oak the whole time. Oh my God, I crushed that night. I made sure to crush that night. I was like, I don't even care if I don't got the Magna Carta. We're gonna have a great time anyway.
Right.
So he did a great time. We had a great time, and Mike Goldberg gave me like, wow, good job. That was awesome. Everybody gave me the respect and validation I finally needed. And yeah, from there I met so many people, and one of those people happened to be Dalton. So I met Dalton, and it's probably like 2 more years, and like I started from there. I got into PhD, and I met Michael Marinoff, and Marinoff really took a great liking to me. And I don't have an ego. I just, hey, whatever you need, I got it. Let's work together. Obviously, because if we work together, we have a great night.
Yeah, sure.
And I figured that out early, and thank God. And then from there, PhD, got me into Tao when it first opened up, and literally from there, that's when I met Dalton again. So Dalton had just started the Gifted program. And then from there, like, I was like the go-to man. So Dalton was like, hey, PhD's open, go crush it for us. Hey, Tao's open, go crush it for us. The Avenue's open, go crush it for us. And like, at that time, I was practicing for the Red Bull 3 style. And ended up coming in second place that year. Lost to DJ Spooky. Good for you, man. But, with that preparation, I was bringing that to the clubs. So literally I was doing something they've never even heard before. I was bringing the tone play into it. I was bringing the wordplay like crazy. I was doing the complicated scratches that sounded amazing. And it was just blowing these managers' minds away. And I'm like, hey, I'm with Gifted program, and hire us.
Right.
But
you have to recognize that you've moved really fast.
Yeah,
like the things that
absolutely.
you're mentioning, like, usually take people a really, really long time.
And
Including learning the skills, the
Absolutely.
scratches, the mixing, and meeting other DJs and like recognizing how good they are.
Absolutely.
And instead of being like kind of negative about it, like accepting it and like honoring it and learning from it, it made you so much better.
Yeah, and I mean, I give the credit for just going to school and just the guys that took the patience with me to learn and like ask them millions of questions and just really be there to just hold me up in a sense where it's like, this is what you should be doing, learn from my mistakes. And that's what I did. I just took all their information, and with the no ego, just really that helped out a lot. So in this nightlife industry, I've learned there's egos everywhere, and you have to,
There's no egos. There's no egos in nightlife.
Well, I guess I don't recognize them as well, but I do my best, not to step on any toes, and just, whatever you need me to do, I'm here and I'm willing and able to do it. And with that and my due diligence of just really honing the craft, because I love to do it. Like, it's something I would sit there for 6 hours at a time, and oh my God, it's 9 o'clock. I started at 2 p.m. Like, wow, I'm still doing a chirp, and it sounds great now,
Well, it goes back to the passion.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And the dedication. I think years ago, before the whole DJ craze scene, right, before it was getting crazy, a lot of DJs, a lot of people who got into the art of DJing, it wasn't necessarily for the passion of the music.
Absolutely.
It was more about the glitz and the glamour of being a DJ.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why you had a lot of guys who came on and sort of like disappeared. Maybe they were like boys with a promoter and they were getting certain gigs, and you were like scratching your head like, why?
Why did they get
But,
that?
it was also about who and obviously connections and networking is very important
Absolutely.
in any field you're in, not just in the DJ field.
Yeah.
but having that passion and dedication is what sets apart the people who really take it to the next level and the people who don't.
I mean, yeah, I remember when I first moved here, and that's when Exit was still open, and I went to Exit, and it was just like, that blew my mind away. First of all, Georgia, we hung out in the woods, so like, there's like whatever.
And you got to hear Chachi DJ.
Yeah,
right?
pretty
Chachi.
much.
I was doing the red room.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I would just go in the different room, like, wow, this room's great, and there's another room, and oh my God, there's a main stage, and then to that white room or whatever, and everybody's just like making out, and it's just beautiful. I'm like, wow, this is a whole nother level to me, you know?
Well, we were talking about this last week on the show with Rick.
With Rick, yeah.
How like Exit just had so many cool rooms.
Absolutely,
You know?
and you didn't know what you were gonna walk into. That was the best part. I mean, like, it was also like one was the hallway would be like the bathroom, and then you'd open a door and it's a full-on club, and you're just like, oh, what? Where am I? Like, I don't understand how this is working. And then there's another club. Forgot the name of it now, but it used to host like Freestyle Fridays, and it was right next to Queens Plaza, where the N and the Q and the 7 and the E and the M.
Queens Plaza?
Yeah, well, there was a club right there that I know from when I used to go to. And
It wasn't DNA, was it?
no, it wasn't DNA. It was a huge club. It was a big club. I forget the name of it, but I just remember they had a Freestyle Friday, and then I just remember this one dude was just, freestyling with this DJ, and I remember just seeing that too, and I'm like, yo, this is incredible. Like, New York is incredible.
Like another element.
Yeah,
of it,
absolutely.
so,
Like,
yeah.
I couldn't believe it, while I was in college. So, like, that also inspired me to just be like, maybe I'm not too interested in this, mechanical engineering stuff. Maybe I do like music a lot. And then on the come up as well, after being with Gifted Program, I interned at Jungle City, Platinum Sounds, Electric Lady, and I got to see what music is, and how it works and the history behind it. And that just inspired me more. So I really, I dusted off my piano and started producing my own stuff and started really working on music, and took another music theory lesson online just to really figure out what music is and how it works and how your brain listens to it and the concaves and microphones and what to do.
So you play the piano as well.
Yeah, so now I play
So
the
you
piano.
must be killing it with the ladies.
I mean,
You're a DJ, you're cutting it, you play like you just like, let me play something for you.
yeah,
baby.
pretty
Hold
much.
on, if you want
I know.
If you
it's
like
sing,
cutting
I'm
and
just
playing
gonna
the
get
piano
I'm just
at
gonna
the
get
same-
annoyed.
I swear to you, one of my go-to moves, I was like, hey, watch this. I'd scratch on this, and I would make a track real quick, and they'd be like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, I know. And then, but, it was just the learning portion of it that just truly inspired to me. And what's amazing with music is, like, there's no right way to do it. It's just
Not at
whatever
all.
sounds good to you, or whatever DAW you're amazing at, or whatever same kicks and snares you're using that just make your records epic. I mean, that blew my mind away, because with the Clive Davis program, it was such a structured model, but then when you actually got into it, it was like, wait, none of that actually exists.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, and you could do whatever you want, however you want. I mean, people are recording in bathrooms just to get a perfect snare sound. You're just like, wow, really? With a hypercardioid?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? And you're like,
DIY,
listen.
right?
Yeah, you're just like, holy crap, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So the engineering side was really where I wanted to go. But then with the DJing, it literally brought out this artist in me, where it's like, hey, people are here for you. People want to hear your stuff, and people want to know more about you. And I'm like, oh man, no, I'm an engineer. I'm the behind the scenes guy. Like,
Right.
I'm like trying to be Rick Rubin. I'm the dude on the couch with the big beard, And they were like, no, like, so Dalton kind of like molded me into being an artist, to being out there more and getting myself out there, and just like, supposedly I have a pretty face or a good face structure. So no, just getting out there. And once things started really blowing up, where I'm working Avenue on Saturdays, I'm doing PhD on Fridays, I'm doing Tao Downtown on Thursdays, and I'm doing some other random clubs, and things are really happening, it was blowing my mind. So I'm like, wow, I have to delegate time now. I either have to be a full-time engineer, or I have to be a full-time DJ and like really split it up, or just be a full-time artist. And that's when I started really just being an artist. So it came with the edits, with production, with finding my own artists and working with them. Work with the Bread Brothers. They're a group of 5 guys and totally hungry. I met them in SAE. We just had a showcasing last week with Interscope, and Atlantic Records came through, and hopefully something comes from that.
Yep.
Work with a band called Blind Benny, which I happened to meet, which is a great story. Double 7?
Double 7.
Yeah, it's like right across the street from Griffin, or used to be.
Yep.
So I'm DJing, I'm opening up for Who Kid. And they know I'm an engineer. They're like, yo, we have a celebrity reality star coming in. She's going to sing. Can you mic it up? I'm like, yeah, sure, it's easy. So I go set up the mics. there's like, oh, we also have a band coming in. So I'm like, all right, cool, sure. No, I'll hook that up. There was a drummer, a singer, and a guitar player, so that was easy. So I open up, Who Kid goes on, he introduces this reality star, and it's just like, it was the worst performance I've ever seen in my life. Like, just nails on a chalkboard, and like, she was getting mad at the people for not being with her. And we're all looking at her like that, you're not getting anything from us. I don't know who you're trying to fool, but that's just not happening whatsoever. So then the next band comes on, so I'm like, oh my God, I gotta hear another 15 minutes of this horrendous music. And let me tell you, oh my God, her name is Jade Hantaro. She has like the voice of Sade. I mean, literally blows the entire club away. Like, she even gets to a point where, you know, she's on her third song. It's like, Mama has to take her shoes off right now. Takes her shoes off and just kills it. The drummer, again, just using a snare drum and just going back and forth. The guitar player, amazing. So when they were packing up, I was still interning at Avatar, and I went up to them and I was like, whatever I need to do to be a part of this, I need to be a part of this. So John, which is the guitar player, also engineer, he gives me like the 21 questions first, just make sure I can answer the right questions and see that I'm actually doing what I'm saying.
Yep.
And I pass, and I'm like, wait, you like a Neve 8808? He's like, yeah, you do too. Did we just become best friends? And literally the rest is history. So we've been making music together. You know, we've really been pushing Blind Benny. Jade now is doing her own thing as a solo artist and with the band, and like just to see them grow and to be in that process. And I do their live sound and I DJ for them. Okay. And to be just in both aspects, and where you can literally just control the crowd with this powerful music from a live performance, you know, and people don't get to see that anymore. And I got to see it all the time, and that's what really just drove me to do more and keep going. So with that being said, and seeing the artist aspect of it, I felt like it was time for me to do more. And I saw, you know, 4AM just got new management by Chachi, and I was just like, oh man, like this might be the opportunity to do something. And Michael Marinoff, he had helped me out because he was really good friends with him, and he actually got us a meeting to sit down. And the only time I've met him was we spun together at Juliet. So nervous, because he had like the best rock set ever. So like I tried to impress him and see if he would hear it when it would come on. And he just kind of was like, hey, and then just went on. I'm like, oh, damn it. I was like, damn, guess it wasn't good enough. But it's okay. So then when I actually met him and talked to him, and it was just like, wow, like you're an actual person. Like you're not just a superstar, name that I know.
We kind of became best friends after that kind of
Yeah, and it just amazed me of like, you know, his story and what he was about and how he's going to bring it into the company. And I was like, you know what? This is what I need to do. Like I need to be with this, and he's the guy I believe in. I think he can take me to the next level. And that's what happened. And he got signed with me, and like literally this man has been letting me just spread my wings, and I've just been soaring from there. And you know, the due diligence, you know, him checking up on me, just the things that 4AM is standing for now has impressed and shattered any illusion of not having a management company. Sure. You know, because I've been through before Gifted, there was another one called Rock Your Girl. Yeah, that was terrible. Let's not talk about
Everybody
that.
has to start somewhere, though. That's all right. I've had my collection of
Well,
managers.
I think, you know, it's important to have proper management in anything you do. You know, like some people have the foresight to sort of shape their own career.
Absolutely.
But it's also important to have a proper management agency that's also guiding you.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Because they want you to grow, and they want you to properly be aligned with certain things in the industry. So it's good.
No, it's amazing.
I think it's actually also important to have shitty managers, because when you finally meet someone that is really good and really down for you and like really has a vision for you, you know. And like everything clicks. It's kind of like dating the wrong girl, and then like you meet the right girl, and
you're just like, oh my God, what was I doing all that time?
What was I thinking? So,
but I mean, honestly, just doing this, and you know, him guiding me in the sense of what to do, how to do it, you know, who to talk to, you know, building the relationships. I mean, that I can, that's just priceless stuff. And then the roster that I have, you know, me and Rick have literally become best friends overnight, and that guy is amazing. And you know, his hospitality, his gratitude, just the way of a person that he is. And I'm just like, how are you working 29 dates a month and still awesome?
He's just so happy. He's so happy. It's like contagious.
It's
it rubs
so
off
crazy.
On you.
So like I've just been emulating that, and that has just been the lift off to this career. And so
Well,
now it's about content.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably awesome in the sense that I'm sure all the guys in the management agency, I'm sure people butt heads at times, right?
Yeah, of course.
But it's also cool to be able to sort of put heads together, right? And bounce things off of each other.
We're creating a family.
Yeah.
And it's something I've always wanted from when I was just an artist on a roster. I always wanted a team, and we're finally really creating that now.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
you know, big shout out to Tao Group. I mean, for literally letting me mold myself in these clubs and this nightlife world too,
Yep.
and to really see. I mean, bottle service is bottle service, and it'll always be whatever it is. But to still, you know, you shock them a little bit. You know, like I'll throw like a Family Guy excerpt of Don't Stop Believing, and they're all like, what the heck? And then I'll go into Don't Stop Believing, and they're like, oh wow, like let's actually pay attention to this guy. He's doing something, you know? So like you get to shock them at that, and like all I would do too to just really hone the skills, like watch AM, Craze, Chachi, and see what they were doing to really grasp the crowd and just hold them in the palm of their hands, where you know put the fader down and they're all singing the words. Like, I'm like, how do you do that? Just watching them and just seeing it and emulating it in my own sense now, because of the Latino side. I'm Ecuadorian and Puerto Rican too, and molding that into my craft and to my sets, and it's literally diversified me and put me up there with some of these, you know, more respectable guys. And even till this day, like I'll just be like, no, like I'm just Mike, you know, I just chill back there and, you know, I do whatever with the records.
It's the way to stay.
Yeah, you know.
That is.
And like to be recognized by some of these guys, like, you know, they're like, oh, this guy's a really great DJ, and I'm just like, yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that, because I think I suck. Like,
I was having a bad night.
but thank you for that compliment. I really do appreciate
Well, I think
that.
everybody's their own worst critic.
Absolutely.
Right? And you're never going to be satisfied. But, you know, then there'll be those nights where you're like, I crushed it.
Yeah, no,
You know,
definitely.
it's just like,
You get in
no-
a taxi cab, you
Yeah,
go,
he's just like,
you know,
Like,
like when
Jesus.
people are like, yo,
Like,
that was
yeah,
unbelievable. And
it-
you're like, maybe it was unbelievable.
I've definitely had a couple of those times, and like what's also great that I love that I came from Queens and like went to the city was just like I've had every terrible problem ever happen to me. So like when guys are like freaking out or something, like they don't know how to fix the mixer or the turntable's messed up or the SL1 box not working when you start on DJ, like I've been through so much worse where drinks have been spilt on stuff, and you know, you just have to, okay, calm down, breathe, woosah, and let's keep going.
That's where the
You know?
engineering comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's what breaks it down from, you know, knowing your craft and knowing what you want to do compared to like just not being prepared. You know, just because of what the XYZ is going to come into play. And you know, being in this nightlife world, it's literally introduced me to so many different styles of music, so many different styles of people. I mean, we're in the tourist capital of the world almost. Of course. So like, you can't just play Bobby Shmurda sometimes. You got to hit them with a house song that they recognize, and they're just like, holy crap, and you have that? Or these bottle clients that come up with the weirdest requests, even though they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then I'll take it, remix it, and then it's something even better, and then they'll recognize it, like, wait, you were the guy that I put the phone on? I was like, yeah, man, I did it better. They're like, holy crap, that's awesome. I was like, there you go, man. We don't have to play off the phone no more. So sit down.
And now he's doing it around the country, which is it's something I'm super proud of.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Oh my God.
looking at Rick last week, and it's happening with all of the guys. I feel like a dad, like looking at my kids, like kind of growing up and expanding, and like you know, really spreading their wings.
Yeah, I mean, the opportunities I've had to spin around the country, and I was actually in Thailand too for a wedding in Bangkok.
Yep.
And you know, just to see the different cultures. I mean, New York's great. I love New York, but like in Dallas and Winston's, like, oh man, people were there to just party. You know, there was no phones. It was just like bottle service, but everybody was on the floor just dancing and paying attention.
Yeah, and you need that,
Absolutely.
right? It's because, you know, different cities have different types of cultures
Absolutely.
in terms of nightlife. So to have a change from, because you know what New York is, you know what you're going to expect.
Of course.
Right? So at
I
least
got my
when
Fetty
you're-
Wap ready.
Yeah, you know. So you know, like, it's like, but when you're able to walk into these other rooms where you can maybe diversify what you're doing, but also getting people who are appreciating it maybe more than how they're appreciating it here.
I mean, the only thing I asked of them was like, can you keep your club open longer? Like 2 hours went by too fast, you know?
Right? That's the only problem with some of these cities. They close at
They
like
close
2
at
o'clock in the
2,
morning.
and,
I mean,
That
I think
sucks.
it's so funny. It's like the Prohibition era after too, where they don't sell alcohol, and like the cool thing is they drink somewhere else. And I'm like, really? Like,
You have to like sneak booze
I know.
around.
We're so spoiled here.
I know, like you
Yeah.
don't see how spoiled you are until you go somewhere else. And you're like, wait, you can't buy alcohol at 7-Eleven? They're like, no, it's locked. And you're just like, oh, we have to go to the strip club and put it under a shirt? Sure, I'm down for that. That's awesome.
So what are you going to play for us tonight?
Well, I saw Rick's. I did a little research. I saw Sinatra. I saw Chachi, and I saw they get to play what they want to play. So what I want to do, I'm gonna play things that I don't usually get to play in these clubs. From my progressive house to my deep house to some Spanish songs that I've made my own edits to, my own remixes, and just to rock out and have a really great time and show that I'm so diverse. That's what I'm really going to show, where I can literally play to anything. So I've learned that coming from Queens, coming from Georgia, being in New York, being around all these amazing DJs, and I've kind of just taken all of their talents and then just put them into me and just put my own style on it. And I'm so thankful for, the Yanni, Spin One, even Trentino. I was watching all his stuff for the Red Bull 3-style preparation, and I took, 2 of his tone plays, and I'm just like, thank you, man. Like, that is awesome. And, shout out to him, and like to use all of those skills to make it into a very crafty, amazing set where you see that I'm working,
Yeah.
Like one of the biggest things I have too in the clubs, where I love inviting my friends out, but I'm so just focused that I can't always entertain them at the same time when I'm like, all right, I'm going to do the tone plate here, and I'm going to put the acapella there, and then I'm going to go here. And like, once I think I figure that out, my life's going to change again. So I'm pretty excited to do that and to show you guys what I got, and hope you have a good time.
Well, we're excited to get you on the decks.
Absolutely.
We were excited to hear your story. It's an unbelievable story.
Thank you.
And I think you have a bright future ahead.
I hope
I
so.
think you've done so much.
I
Like
hope
Chachi
so.
said, in such a short period of time.
Absolutely.
Now, you just sort of plowed through it, and I think it shows your dedication and your passion for what you're doing, and we're excited for your career, and we're excited to have you here at the
It's
Function
only
House.
up from here.
Yeah,
You know?
well,
So we're going to get you on the decks. We
Okay.
want to thank Chachi for stepping in tonight.
Thank you for being
I
here
think
as well.
he's probably going to step in next week too.
Yeah, there you go.
Because Vitale
his
is
new
just
second
like
job. Still away?
vacationing his feet up. But yeah, let's get you on the decks.
Okay.
So we're going to take a 2-minute break, and we're going to get MOrtiz on the decks, and he's going to rock it out here live from Redhook at the Function House.
Thank you.
All right.